I'm in here in my kitchen family room, still working on this cabinet, but it's coming out really cute. I'll turn the camera back around in a minute. I've got, last week together, we painted one coat, that's a little tipsy. We painted one coat of salt water. The whole cabinet was white to begin with, but I painted one coat of the silk salt water on it. And then earlier this afternoon, I got one coat of Anchor, which is black, and I got stripes on here. Hi, my friend Mary. And it definitely needs a second coat of the black. I also, I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can see the cabinet. It's coming out really cute. Let's see if I can back up enough. Okay, so when you saw it last week, it was all white, and this is a bead board in here. And so I've painted every other one in the Anchor, and it definitely needs a second coat. And it has drawers, but when I took these drawers out, I really liked the fact, well, no wonder it's so wobbly. I've got it upside down. Sheesh. Okay, hold on. I was wondering why it was so unsteady there. I don't know how I did that. This is a really well-made cabinet. It's pretty heavy. There. Let me scoot it back a little bit. Okay, so let's just start this over again. So I haven't taken the tape off yet because I don't know what I'm doing along here. And you remember last week I said that you just have to let the furniture talk. And I knew for a fact that I wanted it black and white, and I knew I wanted Harlequins. I don't know if I want to add pink to it or not. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know yet. I could get cute little pink handles, take these off because these screw. Take these off and put pink handles in there. But I also wanted to bring to your attention, because when I started painting the stripes in the back, I was like, I really like having another shelf right here. So whoever this cabinet goes to can decide if they want the drawers in there or if they want an extra shelf to put knickknacks and goodies on. Now, we're going to do this drawer together. I've made a stencil for it, but just to show you, give you an idea of what it's going to look like with the Harlequin on the drawers. And if you decided you didn't want the drawers, I love drawers, you guys. And so if you didn't want drawers, then you could buy little wood feet off of Amazon and put little wood feet in here, and then you have a really cute box container that you can put a floral arrangement in, or your note cards, or, you know, just a cute little box. And if you go to Pinterest, they have lots of really pretty designs for these boxes. So that's another option there. So that's what I'm saying. Let the furniture talk to you. Let it tell you as you're going along. You start off with an inspiration. I knew I wanted it white. I knew I wanted black stripes. I knew I wanted Harlequin. But there are still lots of choices and options as I'm going along. And that's what I want you to think about when you're working on furniture pieces. Thanks, Mary. Hi, Mickey. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Okay, so, did I just lose you guys? Looks like I just lost you. I'm not seeing my hand here. There, okay. All right, so I'm gonna move the camera down just a little bit here. And like I said, I definitely need a second coat on the black stripes. So I made up a stencil. I measured my box and I made a stencil. This is an adhesive stencil. I really like using adhesive stencils. And these knobs on here don't screw in like they do on the door. These are just like glued on here. So I could probably take my hammer and knock it off, and I may end up doing that. I don't know yet. But for the time being, I just thought, okay, I made my stencil. I laid it on the box like this, since I'm working around that handle. I trimmed it all up so that it was the right size, and then I laid it there and determined that I believe it was this triangle right here where my fingernail is where the knob is. So then I just took my X-Acto knife and cut out that triangle and then slipped the stencil over the top of the box. Now, you may never have to do that in your whole life, but I'm just bringing it up. Hi, Colleen. Thanks so much for joining us. There may be a time where you're working on something and you just have to figure out a solution. I mean, when you're doing furniture painting, that's practically all the time that you have to figure out a solution to what you're doing. So, if you haven't seen me use an adhesive stencil before, I really love using them because you get such a crisp finish on your piece. And I have lots of them on my website, and I put all the links for everything in the description. But if you're working on a project that you need something a custom size, just like I needed this to be a custom size, then you can always just text me, and I'd be happy to make a stencil to fit whatever your project is. So I've peeled the backing off of it, and now that leaves this black film, which is adhesive. It's sticky. And so it's going to be a little tricky to get it to go over my little knob there, but I'm sure it will. I don't want it sticking down until I get it in position. This is when I could use another hand. I knew when I was doing this that this was going to be a little tricky. Normally, I'm not working around a knob. Otherwise, this is pretty easy. But when I do get it down, I want it to go down straight. I think I got it. Okay, so I'm just burnishing it on here so I don't have any leaks. And it looks like I did pretty good getting it on there straight. Okay, so now we have this top piece on here that we want to get rid of. And so I'm going to separate it from the black vinyl that you saw on the back side. And I'm going to pull it up at a 90-degree angle. I don't want to pull straight up because that's going to pull up the adhesive on the back side. So you just take your time, and I use these all the time, you guys. If you followed me for any length of time, you've seen me do this a lot. Hi, Maria. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Mimi. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining in. My granddaughter was here for a couple of days visiting, and she just went home this afternoon because she is in summer theater at Broadway Theater in Peoria, and she's in the professional group, and she's been doing The Little Mermaid all summer long. She did it in the kids theater, but she's in the adult version of it, which is super fun. If you guys live out on this side of town, I highly recommend it. It was really well done. Broadway Theater is a really nice theater. Okay, so again, I'm just making sure that all my pieces are down and smooth so that when I go to put my paint on, I don't have any seepage. So you can already tell it's going to look really cool. Where you see white is going to be black, and then when we pull this stencil off, where you currently see black will be white. It's going to be very cool. And I'm going to use the silk paint and anchor. And I was using this brush to paint my stripes in here because you can see this is just a plain artist brush. I pick these up at Michael's every time I see I have a coupon because I go through these a lot, but you can see how squared off this brush is. So you get nice straight lines and you can get into corners with it. It's really a great brush. And that's what we're going to use on this piece. So do you guys think it should have a drawer or no drawer? What's your opinion on that? My granddaughter loved this, and I had asked my daughter when I got it because this was one of those pieces that was just gifted to me. I go into my studio and there is often stacks of furniture in there that people they know what I do and they just drop off furniture to me. And so this was one of those pieces, and I took a picture of it and sent it to my daughter. I've had it for probably close to a year. And I sent her a picture and I said, "Are you interested in this for Aubrey's room?" And she said no. And then she came over here today to pick up Aubrey, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, that is so cute." I'm like, I know. You have to have some vision. Okay, so I'm just going to, I'll tip this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. It'll probably take 2 coats, but I'm just painting over this stencil. So you guys, I don't know what the temperature is out today. I try not to even look because in the summertime, we just live in hell. And, you know, it's been like 115, 116 now for several weeks. And now we're getting storms. And so I don't know what the humidity is. It's not a high humidity like you guys get in the Midwest or in the South. It's not like that, but when you have high temperatures like that and humidity, it's pretty uncomfortable. And I'm on an electrical plan that requires me to shut my AC off between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. because they charge you like triple for your power during that time period. And so, you know, my life starts at 4 o'clock and that's when I have to shut my air off. And I have a 3/4 length sleeve shirt on because I have flabby arms. And I don't want flabby arms in my life. So I'm warm. I'm a little on the warm side, you guys. And I'm tired. I'm really tired. I was complaining to my friend Mary just a few minutes ago that when I'm done with this live, I'm just going to bed. I'm just tired. So I have a spot there. I think that's okay. I can always go in with my white. It's around the knob there that looks like there's an issue with having a Harlequin there. So I may have to go in with, when I'm done, and paint in the Harlequin. And normally there's no leakage with this, but I might have a couple of places where, because I cut that out in the center, I might have a little leakage that I need to touch up, but typically no. But you can imagine how much time, you can see how fast I'm doing this, and you can imagine how much time it would take to draw out your Harlequins and paint them on individually. I did that with a big table. It took me forever. I loved that table and I was super proud of myself. Okay, so I'm going to get the hair dryer and dry this. This is turning out pretty cute for a free cabinet, right? Hi, Mimi. Hi, Joy. So Mary asked me a very good question. She says, how come you didn't clear coat first this time? So normally when I put on my stencil and smooth it all out, normally I put a coat of satin top coat on there and seal it so that if anything seeps underneath, it's going to be that satin top coat. I didn't do that today simply because I forgot. And I'm so tired today, you guys. I am just really, really tired. I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to bed when I'm done here. And so I didn't do it. And so I could potentially have a big mess underneath. Hopefully not. If I do, then I've just demonstrated to you why you put clear coat on underneath. Mary, thanks for bringing that up, because that's an important step that I just skipped right over. Well, Maria, now that I know I didn't put the clear coat on, I'm a little nervous, so I can't wait either. But you know what? It's only paint, and I can paint right over it. And, you know, I'm using the Dixie Belle silk paint, and that has a primer in it. So it's already got a primer, paint color, and a sealer in it. So if I have to paint over it, it's okay. If I have to, we'll just do the other drawer and do it correctly so you can see the difference. Hi, Scarlett. Okay, I've just put a second coat on, and I'm going to give it another quick dry. Okay, and I'm not going to dry it completely. I like it a little damp. When it's not damp, like there's no paint coming off on my hands. And so cross your fingers, you guys. Now that I know I didn't put the top coat on, I'm nervous. So far, so good. Now, if you're using a bigger stencil than this one, it usually just comes off in one piece, but when I'm doing these Harlequins, it usually does come off in pieces like this. And you can use a pick tool, or I just use my X-Acto knife. Hi, Gloria Jeans. So far, so good. I have one little spot down here. That'll be easy to fix. But I love Harlequins. I belong to a group of artist ladies, and the name of the group is Czech Savvy Sisters. And they do a lot of checks. I'm not a big check person. If I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to do a Harlequin. So there's a couple of places, I'll give you a close-up, where if I had remembered to put the top coat on, these little spots wouldn't be there, but not anything horrible, so. And definitely fixable. Now I have a wrinkle here, so I could have some seepage underneath there. No? Hallelujah. Scrap. Hello, Shauna. You're getting pretty good at making it onto my lives these days. Okay, so I'll give you a little close-up. There's a couple of spots there. There's one over here. But honest to goodness, it came out pretty good, and I can touch those little spots up real easy. So I am not unhappy. And let me just slide this drawer in. Now, you can do one of two things. Because I'm using the silk paint and that already has a top coat in it, I don't have to go back and top coat this. I may decide to do that, but I don't have to. So just so you know, that's one of the pluses of using the top coats. Isn't that cute? Now, I don't know yet what color I'm gonna do that knob. I don't know if I'm gonna incorporate some gold in here or a pretty pink. I don't know yet. I'm gonna let the piece keep talking to me. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Maria. There is some really pretty trim here. Let me see if I can get you closer to see that trim. There's a really nice trim here that I think needs a little accenting, and there's trim here that needs a little accenting. So it's like those are the details that as you're going along you want to pay attention to. I was thinking that I could Harlequin the top of this. Let me pull the camera up. So I was thinking that I could Harlequin the top of this, make a bigger one and put up there, or I could decoupage. So let me show you. So let me pull back so that you guys can hopefully get the whole piece in here, or nearly the whole piece. So another option is just use your imagination, but I could also decoupage this larger Harlequin on here. What do you guys think of that? Tell me in the comments if you like the larger Harlequin on here, or if that's getting to be too much, not enough. I'm kind of liking it. Looks like you guys are kind of liking it too. Awesome. Well, this is one of my decoupage tissues. This is a grunge, and I have this in a really large print, and then I have it in a smaller print size, and then I have it in these small sheets like this. Let me go grab one. Hang on. Yeah, I wasn't sure. This is the smaller one, and then there's a much larger one than this. And this is a full sheet. This is the 21 by 29, so it's a big sheet. This one is like a 15 by 10, and then the Harlequin is smaller. And I think this is the size that I need for this project. I think that looks really cute. Yep, I'm liking it. I'm still thinking it needs some pink going on in it though. Okay, so let's do this other drawer, and I'll show you how I accommodated that handle on here. Okay, so you can see I've got some borders along here. I want to get rid of those. And when I hold this up, you can see through the stencil, you can see where you need to cut. And there are grid lines on here so that you can make a straight cut. And I have lots of stencils, vinyl stencils and adhesive. Now, adhesive stencils, that's what this is. It's a one-time use. You saw how that came apart in pieces. Obviously, you can't use it for the second drawer. So you have to realize that it's all the adhesive stencils are one time. If it's a Mylar stencil, then you can use it over and over and over again. And I have lots of designs up on my website because I love using stencils. It just kicks your work up to another level. Okay, so I trimmed it up so that it's easier for me to get this centered and placed on here. Shauna, it's not singing to you? That's because you haven't watched enough live furniture painting. You haven't reached that crazy level yet. Okay, so I'm going to trim this off just a wee bit more, just so I can get my edge as close as possible. Okay. So I've laid it up here, even with this edge. And then I just kind of like walk my fingers up to here, and I'm like marking with my fingernail where that knob is that I've got to go over. I've marked it, and it's right here in this crack. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut out this diamond right here. Using an X-Acto knife is a lot easier than trying to get a pair of scissors in there. And you guys, sometimes you just have to figure out, you have to problem solve, because I can tell you, I've been doing this for almost 6 years now, and I've never done this where I've had to cut out in the middle of my thing for a knob. So it's like, okay, well, this is the problem. How am I going to solve it? And so demoing that to you guys, I didn't know if that was going to work out or not. I like to live on the wild side. Okay, so then I'm going to just push it over that. And it fits pretty darn good. And I'm going to take a little off on this end before I try to put that down. As you saw, I don't want to have a bunch of overhang. Okay, so we're going to take it off. I'm going to just make myself a little arrow there telling me that I want this down here on this end so I don't get confused. And I'm going to peel off the backing. It's just like contact paper on the back. And when you order the adhesive stencils, I always have written instructions that I send out with them. And you want to peel it back slowly and at a 45-degree angle so that you don't accidentally pull any of your pieces off. The backing's the easiest part. Okay, perfect. Then I have my little arrow there, so I know that it goes down here. And then this was the tricky part because we don't want any of the sticking before we're ready for it to stick. Okay, so I demoed the wrong way to do it, and I'm going to demo the right way to do it this time. But right now, I'm just rubbing this in so that it's sticking really good to my top. And then I'm going to pull up one corner here. Sometimes I have to switch corners. Let's try this one down here. There we go. So I don't want to lift straight up. I want to have this coming down at a 45-degree angle. See how I'm not lifting straight up? Because if I lift straight up, it's going to pull the stencil part up too. So I'm just keeping it at a 45-degree angle. And if you have a Cricut and you can make your own stencils, all I did was measure my drawer. It's 4.5 inches wide and 10.5 inches long. And then I made my Harlequins and started putting them together. And then I made another shape, a rectangle shape, that measured exactly 10.5 by 4.5, and then I started layering my Harlequins inside that 10.5 by 4.5 so that I knew that it fit right, and then I removed that piece and then printed out my stencil. That way I knew that I had exactly the size I needed it to be. Okay, so let me get my top coat. Hang with me. satin top coat, Dixie Belle satin top coat for all of my decoupage because it will never yellow or crack. I know, a lot of people still use Mod Podge, and it always makes the hair stand up on my neck because you're putting all this time and effort into your piece, and 10 years from now, it may start to crack and yellow. And 10 years from now, that could be a piece that my granddaughter really loved. And grandma's not here anymore. And you want those kind of things to last. And it dries perfectly clear. This is what you put on your furniture so you know it's going to dry clear. And when we're talking about top coats, Dixie Belle has a gloss, they have a flat, and then they have the satin. I typically use the satin for everything, but I know a lot of people really like a glossy finish. And if you do, then you can use that. And if you're using it for like I am, so that it's not going to seep underneath here, it doesn't matter which one of those, just use what you got on hand. So I just need one coat. Mary, I'm so glad you noticed that. And I like to put mine in a little cup like this. One of those little condiment cups. I get them off of Amazon. In fact, I should order some more since, we got today and tomorrow. And everything, I guess, is on sale. Maria, that's what I was thinking when I was thinking about this whole piece, was using the pink. But when I looked at the pink, it's the big pink. It's this size pink. And that's just too big for this piece. Of course, I can make a smaller pink. I just have to wait for it. But I agree, the pink would be super cute. That's all we need. And now we're going to just do the same thing on this one. And if you tuned in late, I'm using Dixie Belle Silk Paint and Anchor. That's what this black is. And the silk paint is a primer, a paint color, and a top coat all in one. So when I peel this off, it's going to have a top coat because the white underneath is silk paint in salt water. And now the Harlequin is in black, which is called Anchor, and that has a top coat. So when we peel this off, we don't have to do any more sealing or painting. I think this cabinet was like one of those cabinets that you see in Target and Walmart, where you hang them over the back of your toilet for your toiletries. I think that's what this was. But you can see that you can reinvent a piece of furniture. And like I said, I thought it looked really cute with the drawers out too. But now that I have Harlequin in them, I love the drawers in. But I painted that stripe behind the drawers also in case whoever has this, if they decide they want the drawers out, then it all works. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick dry. One more quick coat, just an insurance coat. So when I talk about this being probably one of those cabinets that goes over the back of a toilet, and I'm saying let your furniture pieces talk to you, that also means just, are there new things that you can do to reinvent them? I love doing that. One of my favorite things is to take windows and make shelves out of them. You know, the old window panes, and then put corbels on it, and then add a shelf to it. That's why we do this kind of stuff, because we can invent things. I'm just working up a edge over here on my stencil. I'm cooking over here, you guys. This hair dryer is heating me up. Having no AC on is heating me up. And like I said, if you're using a bigger stencil than the Harlequin, they usually all come off in one piece. They don't typically come off in pieces like this. It's just doing this because of the design. Thanks, Shauna. Yeah, I think, you know, that's what I like, is we've got broad stripes on here. We've got tiny Harlequins on here. On a design like this, it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to have elements of surprise. It's not supposed to be predictable. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Beverly. Thanks, ladies, for joining us. So on this one, we've got the stencil on, and we have a coat of the top coat on, and then we have 2 coats of the paint on. And there is 0 leakage on this one, so I dodged a bullet on the other one. I'm so grateful, Mary, that you brought that up. Thanks, Mary. You gotta love a pretty Harlequin. Woo, there we go. Pretty, pretty. I'm loving it. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. So I think next week I will do the black and white, the larger Harlequin up here on the top. I think that that is going to look really cute. I think the larger one just pulls all the patterns and sizes together. So bending the paper back, that gives you an idea. I love it. So, you guys, thanks, Shauna. Even with the Harlequin? Ooh-wee. I'm a hot mama. Okay, you guys, so that's it. That was quite a bit. 2 drawers are done. I still have to do a second coat on the stripes on it. And then next week we will put the black and white Harlequin on it. And I have, while I have you guys here, let me get your thoughts on this before I let you all go. I want to turn it around on the side. Okay, so black and white Harlequin. Let me change the camera. Okay, so black and white Harlequin still has to go on there. We'll do that next week. And I still have to paint the sides here. So I'm just thinking I'm going to do every other one black and white like I did on the inside. Do you guys agree? If you agree, give me thumbs up or hearts. Are you guys taking a break? No response. Okay, you guys. I'm done. I am hot. I need something to drink. I'm done. So you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys so much. You have a good evening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.